Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Katarina and today we'll go through a really fun flow where we'll focus on our hamstrings. So if you've got any tightness in your hamstrings, this flow is going to be amazing for you. Also the lower back, by the way, hamstrings and lower back. We'll start lying on our backs, and what I've taken here with me today is a strap. So if you've got one, that could be helpful. I have a few blocks around as well, but not necessary. You might want them. You don't necessarily need them. So we'll start lying on our backs. So in essentially a Shavasana shape. You can keep your strap close by and then just release the whole body onto the mat. Arms, legs melting down. Hips and shoulders heavy. And take this moment that we're here in stillness to start to settle down. Starting to draw a little bit deeper into yourself. Into that kind of internal space, awareness. Just taking this moment before our movement to just kind of check in, to also tap in. You can start to deepen the breath. Allow the rib cages to expand, the heart space expands. Maybe the tummy lifts. And then take your biggest inhale so far. Fill the lungs all the way up to the rim. And then you can open the mouth, sigh the air out. We'll hug our right knee into its chest. And then with or without your strap, start to straighten out the leg. So you can use your strap here, just placing the strap underneath the foot and hooking it there. And then just simply bringing some length into that right leg. You can keep it completely straight, or you can bring a micro bend into the knee, but try to keep your shoulders really close to the mat so that you're not kind of rounding through the upper back. Neck is relaxed too. If you don't have a strap and it feels hard to reach, you can always hold on to the hamstring behind the shin or the calf, and then just stay there. Okay, take one more inhale on this side. And then you can bring the right knee in again and we'll switch sides. So simply reaching the left leg up, straightening it out, either with the strap or without, up to you. If you've got one, I recommend using it. And then start to feel into that hamstring. See how straight you want to have the leg. Do you want to have a micro bend there? How is that feeling? How is it feeling in the lower back? Are the shoulders relaxed? Good. And then we'll bring the left knee in, this time hugging the right knee in as well. You can gently sway from side to side a few times. Good. And then moving towards a happy baby pose, we're going to kind of lift the feet a little bit higher up and grab the shins, ankles, feet, big toes, wherever you can reach again. And start to draw the knees in towards the sides of the body, towards the mat, towards the armpits. And try to once again keep the shoulders close to the mat. You'll get a nice opening for the hips, just gently pulling the legs and the knees towards you. You might get a nice opening for the low back too. As we take one more breath here. And out. Good. Now bringing your knees, feet in again. We'll grab a hold just over the shins and you can start to rock up and down a few times. Maybe coming almost into a seat. And now with your third or fourth round, can you find a malasana? So bringing your feet towards the long edges of the mat and then pushing yourself up into a malasana shape. Keep pushing the knees away from each other with the elbows as you meet the shape. Can you drop the hips a little bit lower, open through the chest, and then roll the shoulders back, palms pressing up against each other. Good. And here as well, you can always use a block to support the sitting bones if it feels a little bit difficult otherwise. Beautiful. Take an inhale. And now as we exhale, we're going to tilt forward into a forward fold. Hips lift up, heart moves forward. Good. Take an inhale, lengthen the spine. And then exhale, fold over. We'll do that once more. Inhale, lengthen. And then exhale, fold. And this time, we're going to step our left foot back behind us. Bring your knee onto the mat. And then find length in the spine here first. Good. Roll the shoulders back, and then we'll start to lift up. So reach up through the arms, reaching all the way up. Sinking a little bit deeper with the exhales. Finding an opening in the front body. Take an inhale here. And then as you exhale, we're going to move our weight back into a half Hanumanasana. The right leg straightens out. You can bring blocks under the hands here if you like, just for extra support, extra elevation. And then you can roll the shoulders back, finding length in the spine here. Inhale. And then as you exhale, fold over a little bit deeper. We'll do that a few more times. So inhale, lengthen. Try to really draw the belly button towards the right thigh. And then exhale, fold. Do that once more. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Staying folded over. You've now got your toes pointed up. Can you start to open the toes towards the right? So you basically externally rotate your entire leg. The knee, the toes pointing towards the right. Good. Can you then bring the leg back to center and move the toes over to the left? Might be a little bit more difficult. But do you feel that there's sensations in different parts of the hamstrings as you kind of create different angles for this stretch, this pose? Good. You can come back to center. Perhaps moving blocks aside, or at least the one under your right hand, maybe actually both. If you've got a strap, you can use it around your foot right now, or grab a hold of the right big toe with your right hand. And then pressing the left hand down, we're going to start to lift the right foot up and bring it all the way to the side, and then let it go and leave the foot where it is. So lifted, just kind of on hip level. Good. Take an inhale here, open through the chest, and then place the foot down so that it's in line with the left knee. Good. Then we'll sit down into a kind of a variation of a child's pose. And from here, as we inhale, we lift up, rounding through the spine, pushing towards the tabletop, and then exhale, sit back down. Good. We'll do that a few more times. Inhale, curl forward, and then exhale, sit back down. Good. Do that once more. Really creating a big movement through the spine. And exhale, back down. Good. We'll rise up a little bit higher so that we can tuck our left toes under and start to lift the hips up and the right leg up into a three-legged dog. Good. Take a moment here. Press the mat away from you. Reach the right leg higher up. And then as you exhale, hug the right knee in towards the chest. Step it between the hands and find a standing split here. So the left leg lifts up. The heart sinks close to the right leg. And you can support yourself with your fingertips here or maybe grab blocks. Good. And then activating through that left leg to find maybe a slightly bigger lift. And you can always bring a micro bend into the right knee or a big bend too. Good. Take an inhale here. We lengthen the spine, gaze forward. And then exhale, fold over and release the left leg next to the right one. Good. With our next inhale, we lengthen, lift halfway. And then exhale, step your right foot back. We come into our low lunge on this side. First, lengthen through the spine, gaze forward. And then start to lift all the way up. Beautiful. The hips sink lower. The heart lifts. The arms lift. Good. Take an inhale. And then as we exhale, we release the hands down and start to move our weight back. I'm going to grab the blocks with me. The left leg straightens out. So targeting that left hamstring again. As we inhale, we lengthen, roll the shoulders back. And then exhale, fold over. And then inhale, lengthen. And exhale. Good. One final one like that. Inhale. And exhale. Good. And now staying here for a moment in your forward fold. And can you start to bring that external rotation in? So dropping the toes out towards the left. And see how that feels. You might feel it in the kind of outer edge of the leg. And then bring back to center and towards the right. How's that feel? We'll bring the foot back to center. And now maybe moving the blocks aside, either with your strap or without. Hook your big toe, press the right hand onto the mat, and then lift the left foot off the mat and open it out to the side. Release the hand. So now you've got your left leg floating to the left side. Take an inhale here. And then we'll tuck our right toes under and start to lift up into a three-legged downward facing dog. You can sweep your left leg up behind you. Take an inhale, really lengthen here, through the arms, through the legs, through the spine. Exhale, draw the left knee in towards the chest. Step it forward between the hands and find your standing splits. Good, so right leg lifts up behind us. You can start to hug the left shin in if you like, or keep your fingertips on the mat or on blocks. Good. Find activation in the right leg, all through the hip, to the ankle, to the toes. And we'll take an inhale, lengthen. And then exhale, fold over, release the right leg down next to the left one. Good. We lengthen, inhale. And then exhale, fold over. Placing your hands onto the mat, we're going to step into a plank pose. Now going through a vinyasa, you might want to keep your knees down or lift it up to you. Coming into an upward facing dog or a cobra. And then a downward facing dog. Good. Actually now arriving in our first normal downward facing dog of the practice. So maybe take a moment here. A few breaths, a bit of stretching, reach the sitting bones high, straighten out through the spine, and start to feel that opening for the backs of the legs. You can walk the legs out, the feet out, bend one knee at a time, starting to warm up the hamstrings. Find length in the lower back, moving your belly button towards the thighs. And we take one more inhale here. And exhale out. Good. And then in any way that's good for you, find your way to the top of the mat in a forward fold. We lengthen, inhale. And then fold over, exhale. Then you can soften the knee slightly and roll yourself all the way up to standing. Arms come overhead. And then exhale, hands to heart center. Good. You can release your arms by your sides. And then we'll keep our left foot rooted on the mat and hug the right knee in towards the chest. Good. And then see if you can hook your big toe, the fingers of your right hand. And then you can either stay here if you like, or you can start to extend the right leg out. Doesn't have to be all straight. You can keep a bend there in the right knee. Maybe the left hand is at your hip. And then roll the right shoulder back, find length in the spine. Good. Whether you've got your right leg straight or bent, we're going to start to open the right leg out to the side. First, keeping the pelvis and the hips neutral. And then from there, start to tilt forward. Good. Still holding onto the toe. Chest moves forward, hips move back. Beautiful. And now we're going to release the foot and move it all the way back into a warrior three. Good. Hands can come to heart center. Take an inhale. And then exhale. We'll step back into a Trikonasana stance. So preparing for that, right heel is grounded. Left hand reaches forward. And then drop your left hand down onto the shin, ankle, mat, block. Right arm reaches up. Good. Find that opening in the chest, creating width in that area, in the arms, in the collarbones. Good. Inhale. And then exhale, the right hand comes down and we step our right foot a little bit closer. So we've got a shorter stance. And then we simply surrender here into a pyramid pose. So can you see now, maybe at this point you're able to go a little bit deeper. You can take the blocks if you like. They're quite nice under the hands. But can you really take a few breaths here and work deeper into the hamstrings? Pushing the left hip back, so you're squaring through the hips. And then release the shoulders, the neck, the head, so that also the weight of the upper body pulls you towards the leg. Good. We'll take one more inhale here. And then exhale. Start to slowly step your right foot forward next to the left one. We'll lengthen, lift halfway as you inhale. And then exhale, fold over. Soften the knees and find your way all the way up to standing. Arms reach overhead. And then hands to heart center. Good. And release your arms by your sides. And we'll do all of that on the other side. So we'll start to hug the left knee in towards the chest. And then grab your left big toe with the peace fingers of the left hand. And then maybe start to straighten the leg out. You can keep your right hand at the hip. Pull the shoulders back, lengthen through the spine. And keep pressing the ball of the right foot down, the big toe to find your balance. Good. We'll then start to open the left leg out to the side. First, keeping the pelvis neutral. Take an inhale. And then we start to tilt forward. Hips move back. Heart moves forward. Good. Keeping your focus. Release the foot and move it all the way back. Whoops. Into a warrior three. Good. Take an inhale here. And then step back into that Trikonasana stance. Open the arms wide. And then reach forward. Drop the right hand down. So we come into a Trikonasana. You can place your hand on a block too, or on the shin or ankle. And really reach the left arm up. Turn your gaze up too. So you get that opening through the whole upper body. The chest is turned towards the left. Pressing both feet down. Take an inhale. And then circle the left hand back down. And then we'll step our left foot closer. So we've got that short stance. You can take one inhale here first, finding length. And then we surrender into this shape. You can keep your hands on blocks on the mat. If you want to start to reach them almost towards the kind of back of the mat, you can do that too. And stay very present with whatever is going on in that right hip flexor. There could be lots of sensations. Don't go too deep. But with the breath, as we take one final breath here, maybe you can go just a little bit deeper. We inhale. And then this time, place your hands onto the mat. We'll move through a vinyasa as we exhale. Upward facing dog or cobra. And downward facing dog. Good. Take a full breath here. In and out. Good. And then from here, you can come onto your tiptoes and either with a little hop or a step, find your way onto your bum. So into a seat. We'll extend both legs straight. And make sure you're feeling your sitting bones on the mat. We'll reach up through the arms. And then exhale, fold over the legs. Good. You can grab onto wherever you can reach. You can also use a strap here. If you want to make this a little bit more restorative, you can also bring a block under your forehead, or maybe a few blocks, and rest the head there. That often helps relax the upper body a little bit and helps us go deeper into the pose, because when we're able to relax our heads, there's a lot more weight moving down, a lot more of the upper body weight moving down. Take a few more breaths here in this shape. Beautiful. And then roll the spine all the way up into a seat. You can bring your feet in a little bit. We're going to come into a wide-legged forward fold. So opening the feet out a little bit wider now. The position still doesn't have to be very wide, so we want to keep it kind of okay for you to also move a little bit forward. So don't go to your absolute maximum. You can start to tilt forward from here, maybe walking the hands, the forearms forward. You can also use the block here. Under the head, any way you like, depending on how deep you're going into the pose. And it doesn't matter, even if you're pretty much staying up here. This can be a really intense stretch for the inner thighs too. But meet yourself where you're at, so that you create some kind of sensation, so that you work with your own edge. We'll take one more breath here. And then as you exhale, you can roll the spine up. And now we'll bring both feet in and come into a cross-legged seat. You can close down the eyes, maybe roll the shoulders back once just to arrive here. And find a really long spine rooting down through the sitting bones. And this is where we'll finish our practice. So taking a few moments in stillness, in silence with yourself. And for a change, feeling in this posture how all of that movement impacted your body, your thoughts, your emotions. Allow the breath to flow through you in the most natural way. Can you find some ease in this pose? It might be hard. This is not necessarily an easy posture. But can you maybe find a bit more softness? Dropping the shoulders, grounding the hips, but still keeping your spine really long. You can stay here for a longer time if you'd like. But if you want to finish with me, you can bring your hands to heart center, expressing gratitude for this practice. And finally bowing your head towards your hands. Thank you. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope that served you well. If you do enjoy practicing with me, please subscribe to my channel. The button's just below the video. I also really appreciate all the likes and the comments in the comment section. I'm here every Thursday, so please do subscribe so you'll then get notified about all the new flows. I hope I see you here next week as well. Thank you.